Yo, 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 y'all know how I am. I always think of things. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel while I sip my juice, man, because I'm about to get up into something real quick. That's real. Yeah, this is real. This is not play it, play. Let me drink my water. All right, so we always talk about there's a narrative out there that some people that bowl games don't matter, right? And I'm trying to, and they do matter to me. I like watching them, and I think they should matter because you worked hard to win 6 games in a season and become eligible. And it should matter for you to get whatever trophy, the Pop-Tart trophy, the whatever trophy you're going to get. It should matter to you get it, right? The paperback, whatever. You worked hard to get those games, and they cost a lot. You know what I mean? So, and they always talk about the injuries, right? Well, you already played 12 games, so you know which one more. But this is just in that, right? So you take every conference there is. There's 10 of them. We'll go through them. Pac-12, Conference USA, Mountain West, MAC, Sun Belt, American Athletic, Big 12, ACC, SEC, and the Big 10. 10 conferences, right? Those are 10. So you took each and every one of their bowl game records. What was their record throughout their bowl games? College football playoff included. The teams who made the college football playoff included in the bowl games, you took their record and determined that following year's Power 5 teams, right? That determined it. And on top of that, right, it would end a lot of the conversation about, well, what conference was this better this year? Well, now you got to play for something. You got something to play for. And now nobody has the upper hand, right? Nobody's just getting automatic bids because they got the most blue chip recruits, right? There's no more of that narrative. Shuts all that down, right? It shuts all that down because how would you determine who gets the automatic 3 bids in a 14-team playoff then, trucking? Well, the teams who have the best records. The teams who have the best records. At the end of the bowl season, what the team that comes in first, they get an automatic 3 bid next year for 3 teams. The team who comes in second gets an automatic 3 bid for their conference next year bowl season, and so forth and so on. However you work that out, so forth and so on. So the team that's in third place, they would get their automatic 2, or however they want to say it, and you got another automatic 2 for the 4th place, and then the 5th place team would have an automatic 1 and a possible, right? But then the bottom 5 conferences, there would be no more Power 5 and Group of 5. It would just be top 5 and bottom 5. You know what I mean? And if you're one of the bottom 5 conferences that particular year going in, then you would have to scrap just how the other ones scrap. You got to go undefeated to get up in there or something, right? Right. I think it evens out because you might miss on a college football playoff tournament. You may miss on a college football playoff tournament that year if your conference does not win all the games, win their bowl games. But just because you didn't go to don't mean that you cannot be a top 5 conference the next year. Right? I know it sounds crazy, but it ends a lot of that. Now, what's some of the cons? Well, the SEC and the Big 10 can just say, y'all can have that idea. We'll scrap it. We'll drop out. We'll take our 32 teams we got, form our own league, and call it what it is, and play that way. But or do you want to do that, or do you want to play ball? Are you really that scared Cause then if they saying that they want to leave, then that's also saying, look, and making them look scared of the competition and saying, oh, you guys really are not the best. You guys think that y'all can possibly wind up on one of the bottom fives or not the top two. You guys actually believe you might end up not being a top two team to get the automatic 3 balls. And look, I get it, right? It's all about money. It's all about money. So it's all about that. And these two conferences do have the money to form their own league. They get the revenues for TV, and that's where the best teams have come from, because of money, because of the television and the notoriety they've been given from television. That's largely because of that. But if we're getting, and once this revenue share comes in, and then we're getting a chance to look at other teams and conferences and the like, and really lock in and know those guys and know these players, these coaches, and so forth and so on, then you're saying, oh, okay, they're actually okay. They're actually playing ball. But then even if they do make the college football, it winds up being different. The top 5 winds up being different the next year, and it's not our normal guys. Now we get to look at the other schools, and we're still going to watch the other guys in other bowl games. So it brings more interest to all games, more interest to all games, period. It adds another level competition, to which makes it more exciting, not only just for the viewer, but for everybody involved. And it's always going to generate more money, always. And the enrollment goes up at other schools. It helps a lot of the other conferences gain recruiting, because now if you're a blue chip prospect and you're thinking about going to ACC school, but the ACC is going to be on the bottom 5 next year, you're like, okay, I want to go to a top 5 because I want to get a chance to play for the college football playoff. So now I want to go here to this school instead of shooting that school, because a lot of these schools have the same programs, just more equipment in that particular area, and it may benefit a lot. And there is it, but another con is, will these smaller schools be able to keep up with the production of high level athlete? Are their facilities up to par? But it'll get that way, it'll get that way. But there's not many bad things to really look at this in. I think it's a fair way to really bring back the competitiveness and even the playing field in college football. And now we're not worried about the 14 teams, right? Okay, you one of 14 teams, you playing for the national championship, but man, if we ain't paying attention to these other games, because now your conference got a ball. Your conference has to play ball. And by the way, right now, just to let you guys know a little something, Syracuse did give the ACC their first win as a conference total, and they're sitting at 1-5 right now as this video's being made. The SEC is at 4-3. The Big Ten is at 2-2. The American Athletic Conference is at 4-1. The Sun Belt is at 2-2. The MAC is at 3-2. The Big 12 is at 1-2 as this video is coming out. The Mountain West is at 1-2, and the Conference USA is at 2-2. And I believe the Pac-12 is sitting at 0-1. So they lost all their bowl games so far, unless you look at the new Big 12, and if you look at the new Pac-12, and I will update that and come with the Pac-12 teams that's supposed to be in there next year, and so forth and so on like that. All right, so that's how I'll break that down. The teams who's supposed to be in there next year, I'll kind of go through that, and I'll pick around, and I'll tell y'all the end tally of the ball season and what is each conference record. So stick around for that video. Hit the notification bell for that update. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it, y'all. Have a good one.